What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we had a game between the Chicago Bulls and the Sacramento Kings, and another heartbreaker for the Chicago Bulls. Within 2 weeks, we've suffered two of these heartbreakers, one to Tyrese Halliburton and now one to De'Aaron Fox. At the end of the day, the clutchest team in the NBA got the job done in the clutch, and now we're left, I would say, disappointed, because we put a lot of effort into that game and we played, I think, a very competitive game with the Sacramento Kings. But at the end of the day, we lost the game. And look, it could have went both directions. Of course it could have. We could have ended up winning this game. We could have ended up losing this game. And the result is we lost the game. And that's the most important thing here. And we ended up, again, it's just, in my opinion, one of the situations where we can't afford to lose and we lost. So we just got to go on to the next one and hope we can bounce back from this kind of situation as we speak. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you believe they played a good game against the Sacramento Kings or not. Again, we lost this game 114 to 117. Look, this game was bizarre. It was. The end of the game was bizarre. The fourth quarter in general, like, we saw some crazy things in that fourth quarter. I was very excited watching this game. This was one of the more fun games I've seen from the Chicago Bulls. Now, of course, winning is always fun. When you verse Denver and you play the way that you do and you win, it's fun. Even in the games against Houston, it was stressful, but it was still fun. This game, even though we lost, was a fun game to watch. The Bulls played some very good basketball in this game. But again, just simply not being able to put four quarters together, in my opinion, cost us this game big time. And of course, a lot of people will turn to Billy Donovan as well. I'll quickly get into that a little bit later. But the first thing I want to say is that the Bulls went away from what worked for them. And you could give credit to Sacramento's defense for prioritizing the Bulls to go elsewhere in their offense. Or you could, I guess, blame the Bulls for just not being aggressive in that way. What really helped us in the fourth quarter and in the first quarter, even in the second quarter a little bit as well, the Bulls attacked the paint. That's all there is to it. They attacked the paint. Their defense was doing their thing, yes. Sacramento, again, I can't remember how much of a lead we actually had, but Sacramento, in a blink of an eye, because their offense is that good, that they basically just came back within a second of game time, really. It felt like it was a ridiculously quick turnaround for Sacramento. And again, it was a very competitive game the whole way through because of that. But the Bulls went away with what worked. I always said, if you're going to try and have a three-point shooting contest with Sacramento, you will lose that contest. We are one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA. And you expect us to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with Sacramento from the three-point line. No, we had to play our style differently, and we went away with what really worked. And I'm not sure if it was by design or maybe it was just, you know, kind of in their brain type thing. They weren't really thinking about it and they were just going away with what worked. I'm not sure, but we attacked the paint and that was our success. There was really no rim protection from Sacramento, and there's really no good paint defense with Sacramento in that specific game. There wasn't. Anytime we attacked the paint, we got success out of it, but we didn't do it enough. So again, there are two sides of the coin there. Sacramento might have made a valiant effort to really guard the paint and make the Bulls shoot threes. I'm not saying that they never did that. They might have done that. That might have been their game plan going into the second half of that game. And the Bulls went away from it, and they allowed Sacramento to do that. So again, it is what it is. It's very disappointing in that way, but sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. Sacramento are a good team. They're a great team. And again, I think if anybody's doubting them at this point in the season, 60-odd games into the season, I'm sorry. I think your doubts are not really warranted at this point. Sacramento are a good team, and they've proven to be a good team this season. They're about to enter the playoffs this year, the first time in a long time that they have, or it's been the longest streak in basketball or something along those lines, I've heard. So congratulations to Sacramento, and I'm honestly going to say I'm really rooting for the Sacramento Kings to have a great playoff run. Now, again, we just lost to the better team in my eyes. I thought the Bulls played very well this game, and at the end of the day, those clutch factors in their game, the reason why they are where they are is because of how good they are in the fourth quarter, and I think they showed it in abundance. But there are a couple of things that we'll turn to as well as to why we allowed some of the things to happen. First and foremost, that fourth quarter play from DeMar DeRozan might have been the clutchest thing I've ever seen. Obviously, And I mean for the Bulls this season. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox made the buzzer beater, so I can't really say that. But yeah, I think that play from DeMar DeRozan might be the clutchest play of the season for us, even though we lost the game. So that's a good thing in many ways. We didn't shy away and collapse in the fourth quarter. We actually brought the game to them in the fourth quarter. We forced them to have to make the last shot of the game, which they did. But moving into that last shot, the biggest thing here is that the trap for De'Aaron Fox happened way too late and it allowed De'Aaron Fox to isolate Io and hit that three-point shot. You saw Patrick Williams, you saw the game plan there. Patrick Williams was running to try and trap or double team De'Aaron Fox, but he just wasn't quick enough to do it. And therefore, it was basically a one-on-one, see if he makes the shot type of scenario. And he made the shot, which sent them 3 points ahead. And instead of talking about an overtime performance, we are talking about a Chicago Bulls loss. And the fact that they kept Kobe White in a little bit too long. Now look, Kobe White, in my opinion, had a good game. He did. Overall, he had a good game. But I think it was clear as day the guy was getting cooked in the fourth quarter. I love his energy. I love the fact that he always tries, even when he is getting scored on every single time, he is still putting 100% of the effort in. But at some point, you need to switch things up. And at the end of the day, I just felt like we kept Kobe White in for a little bit too long. Maybe you put Io back in, maybe you put Beverly on him. But I definitely think Patrick Williams should have ended this game. And again, it's another one of those thought processes for Billy Donovan that I don't think necessarily worked out for us very well. That's all I've got to say in that regard. I think we can all see Billy Donovan has made mistakes this season. We all know it. It's been there. We've seen it. Our eyes do not lie to us. And I do feel like that is a mistake. It might not be the only mistake that Billy Donovan's made. It might have not even changed the outcome of the game in the long term, if you really think about it. But I definitely think we should have seen it. And we simply didn't. And again, it's one of those things where I just don't agree with the decisions the coaching staff has made. Maybe some people did. That's fine. Up to you. I'm not really going to go in too much about the situation. But I truly felt like we kept Kobe White in a little bit too long. And we should have went in a different direction once we saw the amount of times that De'Aaron Fox was just getting his way with him. So, yeah. Congratulations to the Kings for the Bulls. I'm not terribly upset. Again, I'm obviously heartbroken at the fact that we lost by the buzzer again. I feel like we're always we're always the team that really gets that against them. Again, Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox within the last 2 weeks is an example of that, but there have been more and more and more examples of the Bulls giving up the final shots and big shots in the clutch that allows them to lose the game. This is definitely not an uncommon circumstance for the Bulls. It's very, very common for us at this point in time. And look, we have struggled in the clutch before. Our record speaks for itself as well. We are not very good in the clutch. So it balances out. It kind of makes sense in many ways how we lost the game. But it's still a very good fight. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to go here and scream and shout about how the Bulls were bad in this game because I just don't believe that they were. I believe we brought a great game to Sacramento, and I believe that we competed tooth and nail with them, and they just were the team that walked out in the end. If De'Aaron Fox missed this shot, we go into overtime with obviously how Sacramento's schedule is. I expect the Bulls to really dominate in overtime. That's how I think it should go. But we never really got to see that situation. So the Bulls played well, I will say that, and I'm not going to scream about it, but I know it's a bad loss just because we don't have time to lose. We don't have many opportunities left to really fight for play-in opportunities. You lose some of these games, unfortunately, you will see that the Bulls will be in a very tough battle for the play-in. You want to make sure you can secure that spot, and a loss like this, even when we were up big for some of that game, it is disappointing and it is very hard to swallow. We've got to move on. Anyway, the must improve for me, I can't really remember all the stats, to be honest. Look, I think Zach LaVine had a rough start to the game, but he really picked things up in the second half. I think DeMar DeRozan is probably the player of the game for me, so I won't really say too much about that. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the must improve. You can let me know in the comments below. We saw a little bit of a Dalen Terry appearance in this game, which is very, very nice to see. I think Kobe White, for the most part, had a good game. So yeah, I'm not just because he got cooked in the fourth, I'm not going to give him the must improve for that. Patrick Williams had a good game. Io, that's an interesting one because I think Io's first points came in the second half of this game. So maybe he's someone that you can turn to, but I think he had a big second half if I'm not mistaken. Either way, I'm not really going to pick one even in a loss. You guys can let me know who it really is, and maybe I'll put it on the screen once I have the stats with me at this point in time. Again, I'm going based on an initial reaction. My player of the game is DeMar DeRozan. The guy had 2 4-point plays in this game, and he was really, really phenomenal towards the second half of that game. I think Zach LaVine also picked things up as well. Vucevic had a good third quarter. So, again, it is what it is. We lost the game. It doesn't really matter who the player of the game is regardless. We still lost. We got to pick things up and move on into the next one. And our next game, I believe, is against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I believe this is the first game of a back-to-back scenario. So, look, we were very well rested in this game. So there's no excuses of tiredness and stuff like that. We were very well rested, and Sacramento were not very well rested. So there's no excuse in that regard. But we're moving over. We got a day's break, and then we face the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we will look for the back-to-back. And hopefully we could get things done in that department. I still think our schedule is difficult. A lot of people are saying that the Bulls have the second easiest schedule in the season. Maybe that's true, but the Bulls can win and lose to anybody. We've got 2 games against Philly coming up. We've got a game against Miami on the second night of a back-to-back. This Minnesota game is not easy. We've got a game against Milwaukee soon as well. I think we've got to versus Dallas. We've got to versus the Clippers, the Lakers twice. So, Portland. These are games that could be winnable, but it could also be losable for the Bulls. We could lose those games. So, don't take any game lightly. Enjoy every game as it comes, one game at a time situation. It sucks that we lost, but there's no time to dwell on it. We just got to push forward. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.